We already are fighting. We are swinging. Swinging.
Let's get it. This is Eternal Underground Production. Support. I know this, man. You're now tuned in to the Hodge Podge Sports Show with a picks on target. Sharper than Katniss Everdeen with a crossbow. Before you place a bet, let's check with Patrick and Sean first. Unless your aim is that, holler your buys. Check the source right here. Forget them other stations, we got you covered. Don't waste your time. Ain't no need to straddle the fence. Now you can take a side with competition where you think that just take the line. If you in opposition, just listen. It will change your mind. This is where you catch him right here. And every show a banger like Ray Lewis at the quarterback. I don't perform, you got a topic or we'll address it. God, don't come on here talking that nonsense and don't know nothing. No hesitation, get put in your place. And the discussion, no shit over here, keep it 100. Got a question, we gon' come with the answer like Iris. Yeah. If you ain't know then, you know now just what time it is. I'm Sean, reppin' the city of brotherly love. Philly stand up, Super Bowl 52 champions. Baltimore in the building, make some noise for us. Pack got Charm City on his back, putting on back like bring it back to the Orioles. And he's more rebound to dive into this knowledge from his comments. Go to follow and shout out to you. Without you, this ain't possible. You rock with us, we rock with you. I love us, I love you. Much love to the fan base and follow the fan base. And deeper than sports talk, it's something like family. Ever and be more. Let's get you a crab cake. Oh, you in Philly say, let's grab you a cheesecake. Now run into the sports fanatics that you know online. Tune in every weekend when we going live.
Okay. Let's get it, boy.
Tune in every weekend when we going live. I know it's time it is, man. HBS time it is. Let's get it. Let's get it. You're tuned in. Support reach. Cause sports breed passion. Ain't no better place to let it out than right here on HPS, where we never stop.
Let's get it. After Hot Sean Pederson. Hodge Podge Sports, baby. Let's roll. Time. Hodge Podge Sports Show is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app. Pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? What's up, Sean? What's happening?
Oh, man. How's it going? You know, I've realized that when your team's not in the playoffs, it's a lot more fun to watch. It's not stressful. This is fun. I'm enjoying the hell out of this week.
Oh, my God. We about to hurt some feelings and bust some chops tonight. I know that. You know what I mean? I got to represent the Charm City, baby. Baltimore Ravens, they got that revenge. It was nice. Wife was going crazy earlier today for her squad. It was kind of nice to see him win. Actually, a pretty dominating win. The referees tried to keep Tennessee in that game. We got a beatdown going on right here. This, listen, one or two things is going to happen, right? Our group's either going to be real boisterous or real silent. I ain't seen Tennessee. I asked them if they were still tighten up, because they like to talk a lot. You know what, Sean? Tonight, usually we have a rule where we try to keep it between the line, but tonight, F it. They talk a lot of shit all year when people's teams was losing. Y'all them boys, y'all still flying, all this and all that. But where they at though? You know what I mean? Where they at? Where the Titans at? Where they at? Now. It's a little early here, but it's getting, as they say in baseball, Sean, it's getting early late. It's getting early late. You know what I mean? 28 zip, still. I mean, off curtain. Where y'all at? Y'all had a lot of hype preseason, right? In our group, on our show, calling in, talking about you gonna do this, you gonna do that. Oof. Oh no, the game shouldn't be postponed. You can't postpone the game for the Browns. We were punished all year. We were made to wait. The game must go on. Okay, the games must go on. Hey, Juju, I got one question for you, bro, because I know you're going to check your TikTok, so check out your Facebook while you're in there. Are they still the same Cleveland Browns right now? I got a whole bunch of them. Man, I got a whole bunch of them, man. So look here.
I think he's caught a pass.
I don't know. If y'all want to call in, I'm going to apologize up front right now. If you are out there on the line be patient because we might not get to you because Sean and I got a lot of shit to talk tonight. I ain't gonna lie. This is really gonna have a podcast feel to it because we want to ask the NBA why the Sixers had to play a game with 7 healthy people and then you postpone the Celtics Heat game. We want to know why. I want to know why the Washington football team fans are up in arms screaming that they now found a quarterback because they had a quarterback from the pretty decent game last night. Now they got a figure. Now they got a quarterback. They tell me, okay, all right. What is this nonsense about Doug Pederson maybe getting traded to the Jets? Okay, what is this nonsense that seems to be true about DeShaun Watson being upset with Houston and wanting out? You know, we got one guy that will tell you this. It's all much to do about nothing. But we've been around long enough to know when stories and reports keep surfacing, there's truth to it. All right, they can say he's in Cabo on vacation all he wants and he ain't spoke to the team, which is part of him being angry. Chalk today so far in the game, the worst watch game ever was the Saints and the Bears. That game was just a horrible watch. It's handled business. Now they got to match up next week against Tampa Bay, and then which I think is going to be another decent matchup is going to be these LA Rams going into Green Bay against the hottest man and the baddest man on the planet right now. So that should be a fun matchup with the Rams defense if they can slow down those receivers because you ain't slowing down AR-12. So I'm gonna just say the receivers. Bad man right there. So we're gonna get the picks as we wrap this up. Man, I know I got Danny out there, but we're going to leave Danny alone because Danny's into his game right now. I think Matt Sandy's on the line. I hope Matt's all right because, you know, his Seahawks choked again. That's right. I said it. Choked again. Man, they're like the most – I couldn't be a Seahawks fan.
Flimsy. They're flimsy.
They're like –
that's what they are.
Yeah. They're like good – regular season team, and then they get in the playoffs, and they just can't do nothing. Dallas ran them out of there a couple of years ago. We know what happened last year when they went up against AR-12. And this year they got beat by a quarterback with a broken thumb. I mean, I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, Russ was cooking all year long.
After injuring the first quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, so, man, Seattle, you know, they always say, Houston, we got problems. Seattle, we got problems. You know,
just
forget to
remember,
really want to talk about
Seattle fans are mad that Russell Wilson never received the MVP vote. So, you know, if you needed to see why he has never received the MVP vote, look at his playoff record, look at his stats in the playoffs, look at the ways he's played in every losing effort the last 3 playoffs. Hell, look at the way he beat Philly last year in the playoffs. I mean, people say that if Carson played that whole game last year, they would have lost in the first. Seattle would have lost in the first round. I mean, people want to keep pushing this Russell Wilson MVP. A mantra, and I don't buy it. You know, he had a hot start and fizzled off and continued to fizzle off, and now he's fizzled gone.
I like that. Fizzled gone. That's a keeper. I told y'all, man, y'all understand. Y'all that's been riding with us for a couple of years now, y'all know how we get on nights like this. You know, I didn't even make the announcement. But if you can't talk about the tone, you better bring that waiver because yes, if you're from Tennessee, oh my God, don't even bother checking for real. Just you know what? Just go hide in the corner somewhere. You know, Corey Cagle, I'm talking to you, right? You want to try to take a hiatus after your Gators got beat. Now you want to go sulk in the corner because your Titans got beat, but you're gonna say Tom Brady won. So make up your mind. I really don't care. Peyton Jones, I saw you in here somewhere. Toby Wilson, he made an obligatory post, right? Like we're trying to get some credit. Oh, I'm here for my lumps, fellas. You know, it has been said, it has been written, now it shall be done, that if you slow down Derrick Henry, you beat the Titans. But Titan fans seriously try to tell us that Tannehill was on par with Patrick Mahomes. Look at the last 14 games. You know, their stats are this. You know, Ryan Tannehill can win a game. Listen to this. Let me ask you this today. What did Ryan Tannehill do to win that game? Game was on his arm. What did they do? I tell you what they did. Damn, threw an interception to close the game out. That's what he did. After Lewis Riddick was up in the booth right in his mouth. What's up, champ? The champ is here. What's up, fella?
Hold on. That's why I brought him over real quick so everybody can see the face. That's your champion right there.
Yo, man. Hey. Champ is here. And to the champ, go to spoils. Check your mail tomorrow, fella. Check your mail tomorrow.
I didn't tell him that. I told Kaylee he's got to wait till I get home to open it so I can video it. All right, good night, buddy.
Oh, you doing it like that? You got to wait home. I got to know. Be there tomorrow between 12 and 5, baby. Be there.
Yeah, I told Kaylee
for y'all didn't know. That's our HPS Pick'em Champ year 2, 4th grader. We all got egg on our face. we just all walking around like this. Walking around like this.
And listen, here's the thing: is like I wanted one of you to knock him off. His head went from being this to just constantly exploding as the year progressed. I wanted some of you guys should have hit me up. I would have slid you his picks. I would have helped you guys. Like I wanted the loss.
Nah, he earned it. He made his own picks all year long. Yes, sir.
He was bugging me every single. He was bugging me every single week to make a pick. So he was reminding me to make them for him.
Sure. Yeah, he's in it. So now the tough part is defending that title next year, young fella. If you do that, then we really talk. Then it's legendary. So I'm gonna say this right now, Logan. I don't know if you want to bet yet, but I'm gonna say this. You defend that title, you're getting the big trophy with the name on it. All right, everybody out there, listen. If this guy goes back to back, he's getting a trophy with his name. You heard it here. I'm on record saying it. His pops is right there with you. And hopefully this COVID is behind us, and I will hand deliver the trophy on top of that and take my man out for his favorite meal. I'll be Philly if he repeats. That's it. That's all that. Loading up the family, we going to Philly. We delivering the trophy and taking the man to get something. So I see. We got some nice faces in here, man. I like this, man. Justin Pierce, what's up, Justin Pierce? I know you're excited right now seeing the score 28-zip. Got a big game tomorrow night with your Roll Tide. All right. And Jack Meisel, what's up, Jack Meisel? I seen your squad pull that victory out with the quarterback with the broken thumb. Good to see you guys. So I'm just gonna sit back. I'm gonna give the mic to you, Sean. I riffed long enough.
Is my turn?
Real quick before I give it to you. Yes, sir. Let me get this in real quick because I know you're not gonna read it. Hodge Podge Sports Show sponsored by Arena Eats. You all go onto the website. Eats the app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app. Pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you play your order? So let me just real quick, Sean. Real quick. I want to know who we got out here real quick too. Oh, looks like we got Danny Spalding. Danny, you don't have to say anything. We know you're watching the game. What's up, Matt Sandy? How you doing out there, young fella?
I'm doing fine. I'm just recovering after yesterday's loss to the Rams, which was pretty quick because I wasn't that we lost because of a lot of trends. And I feel like once the offseason comes in, there's going to be a lot of changes. So,
a lot of changes. I'm not really sure we can make because the Rams take the division. That stays the way that's going to stay. The Rams are going to take over. Tom McVay is going to keep inventing on offense. Arizona's just going to get better. San Francisco, once they figure out who their quarterback's going to be, they're going to be all right too. So I'm not really sure. You know, this you can start seeing the decline of Seattle. You heard it here. You know, we're going to start hearing rumors of Russ wants out again. Well, I can say it to you. Go ahead, Sean. It's on you, fella.
Well, here's my question to you before I get going. Am I jumping right into the NBA here? Because I could riff on that for a little bit. I mean, that alone's going to take me a little bit here. And I'm gonna.
You're 50. You don't have to ask me nothing. Wherever you want to go is where we
right.
go.
So listen, I'm going. I got to because it affected my team personally and your team as well personally. This is what I have. This is the question I have for everybody out there. This is the debate that I got into with Danny a little bit on our Facebook page. That how are you going to suspend Houston's game for being out DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, and James Harden? Now keep in mind, keep those three names in mind. Those three names in mind. You're going to suspend their first game of the year because of COVID-related reasons. Sixers just played a back-to-back against the Nets and then came back on Saturday. As they're coming out, they find out that Seth Curry tests positive for COVID. Play the Denver Nuggets on Saturday. They had 7 healthy players. How many of those out of those 7 healthy players, how many were in their starting lineup? One of them. How many of them were a top 5 scorer? None of them. You've taken the top 5 scorers off of the game. Now here are the top 5 scorers. You tell me if these top 5 players are more name-worthy than the 3 I mentioned, okay? Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, and Shake Milton. Now you tell me which names you'd rather not see. And keep in mind, this is a nationally televised game on top of it. This is a game where you want to show off Ben Simmons. You want to show off Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Shake Milton, Seth Curry. You want to show off you want to show those 5 off, especially Joel Embiid going up against Nikola Jokic. And you want to see Murray being guarded by Ben Simmons. Now tell me I'm crazy, because I think this is sound logic. So why in God's name do you not delay that game? But then the very next night, it was not even 24 hours. And the Heat and Boston get suspended because, oh God, Jason Tatum might not play. Are you, you know what? No, excuse my French. Yo, Ralph, you can send the fines to me. I don't care. Are you fucking kidding me? I can't. I'm not censoring myself there. I can't. And I don't want to hear nothing about, well, the NFL, I didn't hear you guys saying nothing about it. Yo, that makes no sense. It's a 53-man roster. When at a 53-man roster where the offense plays offense and the defense plays defense, not in the NBA where you have 7 guys. Technically they had 8, but Doc said straight up that he wasn't playing Mike Scott. He literally only dressed them because they needed 8 to play that game. So explain to me how Joel Embiid, who is arguably MVP so far this year, how are you not gonna suspend that game, but you are gonna spend because God forbid Jason Tatum has COVID. So I don't want to hear it. That's not good enough for me. It's not. I've said all year, all the time that Adam Silver is the best commissioner in sports, right? He's the best commissioner of the 4. Well, guess what, Adam? You're done. You're fired. You're done. I can't continue to sit here and say that you're the best commissioner of the 4 when you do things like this. Part of being the best commissioner is being consistent, right? You set the precedent right away when you suspended Houston, right? When you suspended that game, that was the precedent you set. You set that precedent. Nobody else did. So then for you to follow that up and not suspend the Sixers game, who had the best record in the NBA at the time at 7-2, going into the Denver game, there is no way that you shouldn't be suspending that game. No way. Not a single way that you shouldn't be suspending that game. Not a single one. Then the very next night, the same thing happens in Boston, and because it was Jason Tatum, we got to stop. And the worst part about it is Jason Tatum's not even the best player on Boston. Plain and simple. He's not even the best player on Boston. Jaylen Brown, that's Jaylen Brown's team.
Hold on.
Y'all can like him, you all can hate it or love it. That is Jaylen Brown's team. Jaylen Brown is the best player on Boston. He's the most versatile player on Boston. He's the only player on that team that plays offense and defense consistently every single night. And his jumper's falling right now, so you can't even say that he doesn't have as good as a jumper as Jason Tatum because Brown's jumper looks better than Tatum's. So this is also coming from, mind you, I am a Duke fan, so I love Jason Tatum. But Jaylen Brown's better. Now that I've gone full circle, continue. Next up.
Right, it's great.
Take it.
I absolutely agree. No, I absolutely agree. I think it's a travesty that you make a team. It doesn't matter. It hits home for us because we're Sixer fans, but had it been any other team, I would feel the same way. It's a travesty that you're making a team play with 7 active players, saying you need 8, and they have to dress a guy that's injured, is not going to play, to have a game against one of the top teams from the other conference. That is on your network. It's on NBA TV, and this is what you tried out there. And then to turn around and come back and postpone the night's game for whatever reason, it has that Baltimore Ravens Denver Bronco feel to it, man. The COVID is always going to throw curveballs. here and there, but these things should already be taken into account. They should already have a contingency plan in place for these things. I'm really disappointed by the NBA's decision on the way they've done this and the way they're handling certain players. Certain players. If you look at it, right, we got Michael Porter Jr. He has to put out an extra 14 days, but Harden only had to sit out like so much, right? And somebody else has to sit out an extra 14 days. You know what I mean? It's like there's, like you said, there's no consistency on what they're trying to do here. He's kind of looking like our boy Goodell with his punishment. So man, I don't know, man. That was tough in itself, man. And the criticism on that is not going to go away, especially because of the things that you said, because of the players that had to sit out, where the team sits, the coach of the team, the executive of the team. Philadelphia is already back to respectability. So, people are watching that, and there's going to be a lot to say about that, and we'll see how Silver reacts. Because that's going to be a big thing. So, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I was gonna say, and here's the thing: is like I was saying, well, it's the NBA; it's only one game. Have you guys not paid attention to the final, like in the end of the year? One game makes a difference in the standings. So if this one game that the Sixers now were basically forced to lose at the end of the year stops them from being a 1 seed or a 2 seed or a 3 seed, and they basically strips home court from them for a playoff series, that's huge. That was the Sixers. That loss right there that just happened on Saturday for the Sixers was the first time the Sixers lost at home in over a year.
Yeah, over a year. And here's
over a year. They won. They are arguably the best home team in basketball. Yes. And I don't know. It's not arguable. They are the best home team in basketball. There is no better team in basketball right now that has better home court advantage than the Philadelphia 76ers. And the fact that you basically gave them a loss on their home court that could affect them in the future at the end of the year when it comes to standings, when it comes to positioning, is huge because you could essentially have taken home court away from them in the standing. Because we all listen, I'm a diehard Sixers fan. I love them, but realistically, I don't think they're better than Milwaukee. I don't think they're better than Boston, and not Boston. I don't think they're better than Milwaukee. I don't think they're better than Brooklyn, and I don't think that they're better than I did say Miami at the beginning of the year, but they're looking a little shaky. So I had them pinned to be the 4th seed, 3 or 4. But if you take that away from them, you're taking home court away from them, and that's huge.
It is. And for people to say this one game, it's just not one game. They're rolling into Monday with pretty much the same roster. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still going to have just as many guys out. Now Ben Simmons isn't going to be able to play because he has a problem with his knee. So it's more than one game. You know my take on it, right? I always say, I don't like the NBA I don't want to say I don't like the NBA. What turns me off about the NBA is how they load man. It's like how they give these guys nights off, and things like that. So there's a lot of things that rub me wrong about the NBA, but I'm enjoying it so far this year. So I think like all other major sports, they're going to have to navigate this, and they're going to have to figure out how they want to do this going forward. But I want to go back to something. I want to circle back to something, right? Because this is the kind of shit that cracks me up. So we were talking about Ryan Tannehill and Pat Mahomes. Remember the stat that somebody tried to post in the group about, like over the last 14 games, whatever. So this it's not, no, Sean, personally, when I read this to you, this is going to rub me the wrong way. Because for anybody who don't know, this is how Sean and I relationship began on an argument like this. Stats don't lie. That's how it starts. Stats don't lie. Tannehill putting up Mahomes-like numbers, but when your defense cannot stop Grandma, then of course you ain't gonna look good in a playoff game when you're given no chances. So this is what I want to say to this. First of all, stats do lie. Stats don't ever tell the whole story. So if we want to be like ESPN or somebody like that, we can go next gen stats, right? The numbers are similar, but when did Tannehill put those numbers up, right? Because Pat Mahomes doesn't have a running game like Tannehill does, right? Pat Mahomes probably doesn't even have a defense that Tannehill does, right? Last time I checked, Pat Mahomes was MVP of the Super Bowl and Super Bowl winning quarterback. So don't tell me stats don't lie, because they clearly do. So now to dissect the last part of your statement, right? Let me ask you this. Tannehill led his team to a 10-0 lead, right? They were up 10-0 in that game. Your first touchdown was clearly, love it. Your first touchdown was clearly offensive pass interference. Your receiver is forearm shoving the guy to the ground and catching the ball. So I'm gonna say that, right? Now, you can't say that you weren't given any chances because the game was tight. Baltimore missed the field goal. They extended the lead to 10 points. You come down and you cut it to 4. Baltimore drives all the way down the field. The referees help you out again. When Baltimore went for it on 4th and 2, they executed the play perfectly. Receiver runs over, sets down, squats, puts his ass out, puts his hands out to catch the ball, barely touches the defender on on Tennessee. Baltimore gets the first down. They call offensive pass interference. Are you kidding me? I don't know if you saw that play, Sean, but it was like 3 or 4 minutes left to go in the game. That was game. So the referees throw out the flag. They call offensive pass interference. Justin Tucker makes the field goal. They go up. So there's still over 2 minutes left. You have the ball. What more chance do you need? You're only down 7. What chance do you need? Your quarterback, who is like Pat Mahomes, because he's putting up Pat Mahomes numbers, has a chance to take his team down the field, all 3 timeouts, plus a 2-minute warning. He throws the pick. Last time I checked, defense don't play offense, so I don't understand. This how you absolutely can defend, or how you can even put Tannehill in the same conversation as Pat Mahomes and expect to go unscathed. Stop it now. So this is like these people in our group talking about Stefanski should be coach of the year. Come on.
So here's my biggest thing, and then you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I want to know, in what world do you keep the Ravens to 20 points and you think your defense lost you the game? I just want to know, because last I checked, the Ravens score a lot, and I want to know at what point you keep almost any team in today's NFL to 20 points, and by defensively, and you lose the game. Today's NFL, if your defense keeps the opposing team to 20 points in this high-powered offensive league that we play in this year, you win that game.
You have a quarterback that's on par with Patrick Mahomes, you win that game.
You don't even. Listen, I'm just asking because listen, I feel you. It's okay. This is where you brought up the perfect point. But that wasn't even Tannehill's first crack to win the game. I also love how they're not even bringing up Derrick Henry. They're not even talking. They're not even mentioning. They went right to the defense. They didn't talk about Derrick Henry. They didn't mention Derrick Henry 16 carries for 46 yards. I think I might be generous, give him 46. I'm just saying, you want to sit there and attack your defense? Your defense gave up 20 points. And let's be real, you guys were up 10-0. And most teams, when they're up 10-0, just start going and going and go, make that lead further.
Yeah.
You guys didn't score again until the 4th quarter.
Right.
How are you going to blame it? Is that the defense's fault that you guys didn't score until the 4th quarter?
Last year.
Thank you, Brian Jones. 18 carries, 40 yards. I did give him too much credit. See, that's me being generous. Sorry, I shouldn't have been that generous. How are you going to be the rushing leader and you average 40 yards again, a revenge game when you know they're coming for you? But no, it's the defense's fault. How dare the defense give up 20 points? And granted, let's also keep in mind that 3 of those points were off a field goal, and they had a missed field goal. Tucker missed a 52-yarder. So they had excellent field position, and they still couldn't capitalize. Tannehill, you freaking suck. I said it when you were in Miami. You're garbage.
Listen. They had an interception. They have no pass rush, but they had 6 sacks today. But it was the defense. Defense. It was defense. 6 sacks. Let my defense 2 yards of carry. Let my defense get 6 sacks in the pick. And then have me blame my defense on why we lost. Last year, Mike Vrabel outcoached Harbaugh. This year, Harbaugh and his staff outcoached Vrabel. That's basically what it came down to. You got a 10-0. They made the offensive adjustment and the defensive adjustments to slow that down. A.J. Brown was going off in the first half. They couldn't hold that man. No doubt. Corey Davis didn't have a catch, and he left the game hurt, so I hope he's okay. A.J. Brown, I think he might have had 1 catch in the second half or something. I don't know. But all I know is that Baltimore did not let up. They kept coming. and kept coming and kept coming. And, you know, they got what they got. They danced on their logo, rightfully so, and waved by.
Listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing, too, is like, you know, Lamar Jackson's going to get his. Even if Lamar has a horrible passing game, you know he's going to get at least 50, 60 yards rushing. You know this, that they have designed quarterback runs for him to do such things. Okay? They are a ground and pound team, just like the Browns are. This is what I don't understand. Like, what more were you expecting from your defense? And Peyton Jones, I would love for you to tell me what more you were expecting from your defense, because Patrick just put it on the table for you. An interception, you had 6 sacks, and on top of that, your defense had a missed field goal where you gave your offense the ball back at like the 50-yard line. So what more do you want from your defense? They did everything. You cannot sit there and blame your defense when you're have a running back averaging 2 yards a carry and a quarterback that literally threw the game away. That is not on the defense. I tip my hat to the Titans defense today. I say the words I can't to their offense.
I mean, listen, sometimes a loss is a loss, and that's what we saw today, right? And I'm telling you, I don't know how much of the game you saw, but you know, here I watched.
I was listening. I was driving home from work.
It really wasn't even that close. I'm telling you, if you get to go back and see it, if you take away the offensive pass interference that should have been called on the touchdown, right? Maybe they get 3 points. If you take away the OPI that was called on Baltimore at the end, it's not even close. Like, Baltimore runs it out right there. I mean, like, that game was over. Like, Baltimore executed that play perfectly. You see New England run it, I don't know how many times worse than that, and never get called. I mean, when you see when they called it, it was like, oh my God. Literally, the guy brushed him. And when I say brushed, I mean brushed. He set a pick, right? But they all do it. And he barely touched the guy. Like, he didn't even block him. He ran a yard in, right, Sean? Mm-hmm. He turns, he puts his hands out like he's going to catch the ball. Right, the guy comes around the back, brushes him, and they call it. Now, here's the thing that also upset me. This was the worst broadcasting group ever. This ESPN.
Who broadcasted that game?
ESPN. Yeah. It was a Monday night crew. Louis Riddick, Brian Greasy, and Steve. I can't remember Steve's last name, but it's the guys that do the Monday night game.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Thank you. They were awful. I mean, awful. They had to correct themselves so many times during the broadcast. It was crazy. They're like, oh, that's obvious offensive pass interference. You can't run it like that. You have to act like you're blocking. And they show the replay, Sean. My man, that's exactly what they said he was supposed to do. Like, they show him putting his butt out and then putting his hands forward like he's going to catch the pass, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, that was a horrible call. It's like, come on. And then they're like, right before the Louis Riddick, man. Oh, yeah, man, you know, Marcus Peters, he's a gambler. You know, the Tennessee's going to set Marcus Peters up on a double move here. You know, at some point you got to do it and see if you can get him, right?
Yeah.
And then Brian Greasy, rightfully, he's like, I don't know, man. The best guy they have for that is Corey Davis. He's out of the game. That next play, Sean, guess who got the interception?
Marcus Peters. Like, I'll tell you what. You want to know? You want to know what broadcast?
You know what I mean? But you know, Tannehill looked directly like he was going that way the whole time.
Yeah. You know what broadcast I actually really enjoyed today for how bad of a game it was? Like, I really enjoyed the Nickelodeon broadcast.
I did. I didn't even watch the CBS.
Bro, I didn't care about it at all. I loved Nate Burleson and Ian Eagle doing it. I loved the whole slime effect on it. I thought it was cool. It was very my kids, but my oldest was 100% interested in it. My youngest kept looking up and said, "Oh, look, there's SpongeBob." So I kept him. He was semi-interested in it. I mean, it's a cool way to get kids like the kids actually like watching the sport and whatnot. So I thought it was really cool. Even though don't let the Saints fans fool you. They were sweating that entire game, and if there's any other quarterback not named Mitchell Trubisky playing, the Bears win that game.
Let me tell you something. From what I saw, I can't blame Mitchell Trubisky for the Bears losing that game today. There was nothing that I saw him do to the team to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, the kid drops a touchdown pass in the end zone. That was on the money. You can't make a better throw than that.
tell you what,
You
Miller,
catch that.
Miller,
You're 7.
Miller getting ejected was the most child thing you can do in a playoff game when you're arguably the best receiver on that team. Like that, you cannot get ejected in that moment. You have to have cooler head. Cooler heads have to prevail there, especially when that game wasn't even close to being out of reach. It was like it was a touchdown game at that point, and you get ejected.
No, listen, I'm gonna say this because I asked Tony Rank. He's our Saints fan, and he'll tell you he was like, because he said like towards the end of the game he's like, okay, now I can exhale right towards the end of the game, not when it was like 4-3, like when it was 20. He's like, now I can exhale. And I said, he said the Browns are the Bears is awful. I said, man, they got no creativity on offense. I said, what were they doing before the half? They had like over a minute and some change, and they ran the ball 3 times. Like, you're not even allowing your quarterback to try to go make a play when he's done nothing this whole day to tell you that he can't make a play. You called one trick play. He threw the ball right on the freaking money
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. He did not get it, did he? I know it looks like
you're behind. So here's the thing that shocks that I think I have a question I actually want to ask, and we could ask everybody. To be honest, this is very simple yes or no. Is I think Matt Nagy making the playoffs saves his job to where he's not even going to have to worry about losing it now. And I'm going to pass that question around.
No, that's a great call, and we'll see who's out there. Matt's out there and Lou's out there. Danny's still on break. Lou, Matt, come on, guys. Stay with us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so with Matt Nagy, if he would have lost it, in my opinion, the Bears would have fired him and the Jets would have hired him. Because I feel like Matt Nagy is one of those coaches that I could see work well with the Jets if he were to get fired after today.
Okay, Lou.
I would have to agree with that.
See, okay, go ahead.
And if they didn't make the playoffs, he would have been gone too.
All right.
But I didn't think they had a chance to, I went against the Saints today anyway. I mean, it was a lost cause.
It's not a lost cause.
They even were there.
But Lucy, that's a broken way of thinking. It's not a lost cause. That they should have beat the Saints. And anybody that watched the game saw that they had the Saints. They had so many opportunities to beat the Saints. The Saints have been beatable all year. The Saints lost to a backup quarterback in Jalen Hurts earlier this year. The Saints are beatable. That's the Saints' problem, is that they're not as good as people project them to be. I don't want to say as people, as one person in our group projects them to be. They're not that good. They just happen to go up against opponents that they can beat in the right situations. Plain and simple. The Saints are extremely beatable. And I think like I said, it's preliminary. We'll talk. Well, maybe we'll get that a little bit later. But I don't think it matters, to be honest. Like, I think the Saints, if the Saints played any other NFC team this week, they lose, including Washington. If they play the way they played today. And that's my point, is that the Saints are a very beatable team. The way to beat the Saints is simple. You neutralize. I think it's simple. At least you neutralize Alvin Kamara. Because guess what? If you neutralize Alvin Kamara, that means you're neutralizing the middle of the field, and that means Slant Boy can't catch anything because the middle of the field is covered.
Slant Boy, I love it. So here's my thing on it. I think that Matt Nagy gets fired anyway. I don't think him making the playoffs did anything. I think if they would have had a better showing today, then maybe. But the way the offense moved or didn't move, that squarely falls on him. And I don't understand how you have a talent like Mitch Trubisky and you can't get anything out of him more than what you did, and then think that you're actually gonna walk into the New York Jets and do better with Sam Darnold, because Matt Nagy is an offensive guy. That's his thing, right? That's the same thing we heard about Adam Gase. Adam Gase has failed miserably at 2 head coaching spots. How he got another shot is beyond me, fella. And for Matt Nagy to be fired and then automatically walk into another head coaching job, I don't see that. There's too many other qualified people out there and talented guys out there for him to lose one job and automatically get another. Anthony Lynn, hello. Come on. If Doug Peterson gets fired in Philadelphia.
The dude from Kansas City,
Hello.
Bohemian.
Right. Eric Bieniemy. Hello.
Bieniemy.
Right. Jim Salad. Hello. Matt Eberflus. Hello. Brian Daboll. Hello. Right. There's so many other people out there that are ready to move into the next spot. And there's probably people we haven't even heard of yet. Right. You know what I mean? So maybe Nagy,
sure.
maybe Nagy's safe in Chicago, but what is he gonna do differently than he has the last 2 years, right? Like he was part of the decision-making process to go out and get Mitch Trubisky, right? That's his quarterback. So what has he done to give you guys reason to think that he can turn it around either in Chicago offensively or elsewhere? Because Sam Darnold is the better quarterback between him and Trubisky. If I'm taking over the Jets, I want Sam Darnold as my quarterback. Right? I'm not giving up on Sam Darnold.
You can have
shit.
What?
I'll take him all day.
you can have
I'll take him.
I'll take him all day. I'll take him all day.
I think Sam Darnold's a very good quarterback in a very bad situation. He shows flashes all the time, but is being held back. Now, listen, as we just trashed Ryan Tannehill so hard, this could be fun. But Adam Gase has been known for ruining quarterbacks. Every quarterback he touches turns to shit, plain and simple.
Yeah,
And you can look back at all of them, and you can see it. Sam Darnold is a very talented quarterback in a very, very, very bad situation. And that's why a little bit of me believes that we saw the Jets losing games on purpose, aka that Oakland Raiders game earlier in the year. But those last 2 games, I think they actually wanted to win because they didn't want to have to draft Trevor Lawrence.
So I don't think they lost games on purpose. But I'll say this. Let me ask you this, Lou. Since you say that you could have Sam Darnold, right? Put Sam Darnold on the Atlanta Falcons with those weapons. What's Sam Darnold look like? Give Sam Darnold Atlanta's offense. What's he look like?
I think it's gonna look well. The Falcons are nothing to write home on either. I mean, they're pretty bad too. So
that ain't what I asked you.
But
I asked you put Sam Darnold on Atlanta Falcons offense, and what does he look like?
I think it's gonna look like crap, just like the Jets. I mean, you may think he's a good quarterback, but I don't think so. He made too many mistakes.
All right. So put Sam Darnold on the LA Rams offense. What's he look like?
Rams, yeah, but to give a golf for
it's not about golf and Darnold. It's about the personnel. So stick with me. Put Sam Darnold in Dallas's offense. What's Sam Darnold look like?
That's gonna. Well, I can't do any worse than this year. So I think maybe it'd be better in Dallas. But I think maybe you would think with the Rams, so good too. I mean, the team up with Jared Goff, that might be a good offense.
What the point I'm making is that Sam Darnold has never been surrounded by offensive talent. He's never had an offensive line to protect him. He hasn't had any decent receivers. He's never really had a true bell cow running back. Right? The kid gets hurt because no one can protect him. His coaches have been absolutely atrocious. You put him on the Washington football team, Washington's probably better. Brian Jones, now I know you're a fan of the Jets. You could say he's regressed, but how's he regressing when he has no talent? Like, see, that just makes no sense to me. Like, Carson Wentz has regressed, right? But Carson Wentz regressed this year. But again, a lot of that is due to coaching and lack of talent around him as well. And I'll give you that. Turnovers are always to the player. I always say that. I got to tell Sean that all the time. I'm like, we can say that they're not calling the right plays for Carson Wentz, but decision making ultimately goes to you. But to say that Sam Darnold is hot garbage or not a good quarterback, I'm just not buying it. I'll leave it at that. I'm not a fan of the Jets. I don't have anything vested for Sam Darnold either. Right? He's not my guy, but listen, you could do a lot worse than Sam Darnold.
You gave Sam Darnold, Jameis Crowder, and Frank Gore, and you expected what? To make the playoffs? To win more than 2 games? I'm asking honestly. You drafted Denzel Mims as last year, which he could possibly become a player, but he's a rookie. So you don't really expect much out of rookie receivers, especially when they're not drafted in the first round. So Brian Jones, I'm asking because like I on the side of Patrick here, I like Sam Darnold. I think he's a good quarterback in a bad situation. But again, I knew we were going 2-14. Well, if you knew they were going 2-14, you should tell me the lottery numbers, man. I'm telling you, like, what could you give me those as well? Because Sam Darnold, again, the Jets gave Sam Darnold, Jamison Crowder, and Frank Gore. That's your best receiver and your starting running back. To be fair, you had Le'Veon Bell, but he was chirping. He wanted out for a while.
Give him Trevor Lawrence in the same situation. See how many games they win. You know, give him. What's the kid from Ohio State? Justin Fields. Give him. See how many games they win. Give him Mac Jones from Alabama. Give him a kid from. Give him any one of these top quarterbacks. Put them in the same situation and tell me that they win more than 2 games. The exact same situation, and tell me that they win more than 2 games.
You're not bringing a rookie. And here's the other thing, too, is like the part that sucks about Sam Darnold the most now is that most of the time when you bring a rookie, a quarterback that you draft highly into your situation, usually what happens is you start developing slowly a winning culture, right? You at least start piling on some wins, and this kid gets used to having quote unquote winning culture. Sam Darnold knows nothing but losing, right? That's all he knows because of the organization he's been sent to. It sucks. And that's the way I felt about the Sixers for years during the process, is that all the kids on this team only know losing, and that's going to be a problem. And so happened I was right. When you develop a losing culture, then losing will ultimately become the outcome. Is that none of these kids that are growing up in the culture of none of these kids will know about winning. And that's the unfortunate part about Sam Darnold. You've given him horrible receivers, horrible coach. And here's the thing: is you're a horrible coach. Like, you haven't even talked about the coach. Like, you want to blame Sam Darnold, but what about Adam Gase? Why are we talking about Adam Gase at all?
Listen, so we're talking about personnel and things like that for other places and other players, but we don't want to give that courtesy to Sam Darnold, right? But yet we want to put Baker Mayfield on a pedestal now because Stefanski came in there and changed the culture. He righted the ship. He got everything set. So now, is one person told me Baker Mayfield had a breakout year this year. Okay, fine. Yeah. Right? Now, there is something to be said for sustainability, suitability, and comfortability and structure. What I'm saying is give Sam Darnold that and then see what happens. And then if you get the same results, then maybe we can revisit that comment, right? But you got to compare it. Like Baker Mayfield had a different coordinator every year, right? So, right now they got a formula to win. They can run the ball. They're getting the defense behind him and things like that. You know, he's got his team up 35-7. He just threw a touchdown back. So, you know what I mean? Like, keep everything in perspective when we're talking about these young cats, right? I mean, they're treating Sam Darnold like he's Josh Rosen. You know what I'm saying? And that kid hasn't even gotten a fair shake. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny.
So I don't know, Sean.
It's funny because I was going to say Blake Bortles, but I like that. Josh Rosen works.
Well, Blake Bortles, at least Blake Bortles got a chance to play. You know, they put a defense around Blake Bortles. You know, he won a playoff game. You know what I mean?
Well, and he had Allen Robinson. And he had Allen Robinson, and Allen Hurts in the same year.
You know
like they built a winning culture around Blake Bortles for at least 2 years.
I would say as a Jets fan, I've seen more than enough time to move on. And I can respect that because that's your squad. Yeah. You look at him a little bit harder than I do. You know, I'm just saying, you know, he can come down and put the star on and be a backup for me. I ain't gonna be mad at that.
But I don't have Andy Dalton anymore, I'll tell you
that. That guy. Everybody want to tell me how much better he was than.
Listen, man, it's the backup quarterback mentality. Everybody loves the backup quarterback more than the starting quarterback. Everybody does. Nobody can tell you why.
Right? Yeah. Listen, you know, I've been quiet about Dak all year, and rightfully so, right? And there's reasons why. Because I just think it's funny now. The young man got hurt. You know, not it's funny they got hurt, but now how the narrative has changed. Oh my gosh, how much better would Dallas have been with Dak? You know, Dak needed Zeke. Zeke didn't need Dak. You know, this, that, and the other. I'm just going to let that right there.
You know what? I can't because I brought that up on another show that Brian Jones was watching with me on another network, and I asked the question very simply to the guy. He's a Dallas fan, and he said, I asked him, how many more wins would the Dallas have gotten with Dak? And his response was 1 or 2, but it wouldn't have mattered. And my response to that was 1 or 2. Well, that means you make the playoffs, so it totally does matter. 1 or 2 means the playoffs. No, listen, like, even if you think they've won 5 or 6 more, whatever it may be, 1 or 2 puts you in the playoffs. And I always say it's better to be in than not in. It's better to be make it than not.
Yes. Listen, I would have loved to have been in the Washington Redskins position last night playing. Don't matter to me. At the end of the day, nobody gives a shit how many games you won. All they know is that you're the NFC East champion. It's at the end of the day. Nobody's looking at your record. When it's all said and done, it's like, oh, you're right. Oh, you won a division. Damn right. So to say, I'm gonna put it to you like this: if the games played out exactly the way that they did, if Dak was a quarterback, they definitely win more than 1 or 2. But again, 1 or 2 is all they needed to win to get in. So they would have gotten in. They would have been a division champ. Absolutely. Like, I can tell you games they probably would have won the first game in Philly because they had a chance to win that game. They would have beat Pittsburgh. Would have won one of the games against the Redskins. That's 3 right there. That's 9 and 7.
Yeah. And if you steal 1 or 2, you steal one of the other games that you don't think you're going to win, which usually happens every year in the NFL. You win a game you're not supposed to win. So when you win one of those, that puts you at 10 wins. And instead of you're now fighting for a higher spot than the 4 seed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, at best, right? If we're being conservative, they probably would. Let's say if we had to put a number on, let's say they go 8-8, right? But I'm just taking the game for the way they played with what they had, right? Like the first Eagle game, they actually had a chance to win that game, but they were on their 4th.
Hold on,
right?
But you didn't even mention the second Giants game that they should have won. If the Dak was playing that game, they win that game too.
They absolutely do win that game. Exactly. I was just going with the split because it's usually you split in your division. So I was just being like conservative there. Yeah, absolutely. If the games play out the same way, they win that game too. You're absolutely right. And they might have even been able to win the Baltimore game. They were almost in every game. The defense was so atrocious. It was ridiculous how they just couldn't stop the run. Right? And for as good as the backup as we thought Andy Dalton was going to be, he should have been able to he should have been the difference maker. He should have been able to get another win or 2. So, the guy
he missed 2 games, right?
Yeah, he missed 2. Yeah, he missed 2. He got knocked out of the Skins game. He missed the Eagles game, and then he missed the Pittsburgh game.
So technically, he missed 3.
Yeah, right. Yep. And they got blown out in that first game against Washington. There was not going to be much difference there. But if you just go back and you remember, they were in that Philadelphia game, and they were in the game against Pittsburgh too. You know what I'm saying? Like they were in those games, and I don't know, man. Listen, they are what they are this year.
A bad team.
Everybody had injuries. They had just as many injuries as everybody else. So exactly, like Washington. So we're gonna keep talking NFL talk, right? So here's what I'm gonna say about the Washington football team. Congratulations for them winning the division. But what did they actually accomplish? Because
is this a permanent change?
They might keep it. They might keep it next year too.
It is a permanent.
But the point I'm trying to make, or the question I'm trying to make is,
this show.
No, this is just for the next couple months. Just for the next couple months. We're on Sunday nights. Not a permanent change.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, want to be sure about that.
I got you.
All right, I'll call back whenever it's next Saturday or Sunday. Right.
No, it's going to be next Sunday. We're going to be next Sunday at least going into March. We're going to be every Sunday going at least until March. All right, to answer that question. So, so before we get into the picks and get up on out of here, I just want to say this, and I'm just keeping it real, and I'm really talking to you since we're both in the same division. What really did Washington accomplish, right? They were able to win a division that was ravaged with injury, right? If they come back and they can win the division next year when everybody's healthy, okay, I'll tip my hat to them. They got the makings of something decent though in that defense. That defensive front is nice, but they went up against a bunch of backups this year. There was no Tyron Smith. There was no Zach Martin. There's no Travis Frederick. There was who are you missing on your?
Wait, I'm gonna say wait. There's wait. There's more. There's no Lane Johnson. There's no Brandon Brooks. Jason Kelsey was on one leg. We didn't have Jason Peters. Come on, man.
And exactly, that's my point, right? And you can only beat who's in front of you. So I'm not taking away what they did. But all I'm saying is I'm not ready to crown anybody anything yet until everybody's all healthy and let's get at it, right? That's why, like the kid that played for them last night, he did good. But yo, they're running around here acting like he's the second coming. Second coming of what? The dude was in the XFL. He couldn't even make the NFL. You had to put him on and play him in the game because your number one draft pick is not mature enough to be professional. I don't feel bad for that kid. I don't feel bad for that kid in any way, shape, or form. All right, you are the exact example of a spoiled ass Division I athlete. You got kids out here that are getting no love in D2, D3 schools, fighting for everything they get. You got drafted by your hometown team and you couldn't put your shit together. You actually went to a strip club. See, I have to break it down to you like this, bro. Living in this area, this kid went to a strip club. No mask. Fine. Did he forget that his coach has no immune system since he just beat cancer? See, when I posted that and I said he should be cut immediately, it goes deeper than that. Like, you have a responsibility to yourself, to your teammates, and to your community, and you failed on all three fronts. So if you don't ever get another job in the NFL, you got nobody to blame but yourself. Can't play, I'm the black quarterback. Can't blame that I wasn't given a fair shake. Look, dude, because when you do things like this, everything that they protect you from becomes known. So now we know that you were late to practices, you were late to meetings, you couldn't read the playbook, right? See, when you stink, all your shit comes out. Okay? So there was a reason why they brought in Kyle Allen. There's a reason why we knew Alex Smith was going to be able to play because he was the best quarterback they had on the roster when he was healthy. It looks like he might be done playing. But now, hey, listen, going down to Carolina, they might give you a spot. But what are you going to do? Coach loves the quarterback from Temple. He put him in over the quarterback that they drafted from West Virginia, Will Grier. So where are you going to get in there? Teddy B's there. Anyway, man, I can go on and on about that kid, man. He gets no love.
I don't disagree with you.
I know. I told you I was fired up, man. It's your fault.
It's my fault. You might get more fired up from me in a second. But hey, why don't we get these picks?
Well, hold on. I have mine. Let me. Gotta return the favor. Hold on 1 second. You see it scrolling down on the bottom there. I took mine. You can take yours. Yeah, I just took mine.
Okay.
Dwayne Haskins.
So here we go. I'm taking a nail. Taking this. Imagine there's a nail in my hand here. Taking this hammer, and this camera is going to be the coffin here. Hold on. This is the coffin for the Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees conversation. With the second MVP coming under his belt. Second MVP. That's going to be 2 MVPs for Aaron Rodgers. 0 for Drew Brees. Oh, these are my party shots, right? This is Sean's party shots. Sean's party shots, right? It's 2 MVPs. It's going to be any day now to 0 MVPs. And there's more. For my undoubtable pick to win the Super Bowl, the greatest quarterback I've ever seen to play the game, AR-12, is going to win the Super Bowl this year. And here's the kicker to all of it. I am making a bold prediction that he will not play the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. He will not be on a collision course. First them, he is going to play none other than the not the Cleveland Browns, the Buffalo Bills. I got the Bills versus the Packers in the Super Bowl with my man AR-12 beating Josh Allen to win his second Super Bowl. And then when that happens, I was, if I had hair, I would say I shaved my head, but I'll do something. I'll do something fun. I'll do something real fun to just shove it on in there about how much better AR-12 is than Drew Brees. Which Patrick knows this is all in good fun. I don't think he's really that much better than him. I just think he is better than him, and I always have said that I think AR-12 is the best quarterback I've ever seen play the game. And if he wins another Super Bowl, I feel like the conversation's already over because he got the MVP now. He's got 2 of those suckers. 1-2, got 1 early in his career, 1 late in his career, and then the Super Bowl to top it off. 1 early in his career, 1 late in his career. That'd be kind of cool. I wonder how Drew Brees is going to feel about that when he retires this year.
Let me add something to that. I think it would it would further cement it if they met in an NFC Championship game and he beats them together.
I was thinking about that as well, but I truly don't think that he's going to beat. I don't think Drew Brees is going to beat Tampa Bay. And we'll get to that one. We can start right there at the picks, and we can say that we can say I went. We can go ahead and say I'm me going first. That's fine. We got New Orleans.
Yeah, we got Danny.
We got Tampa Bay.
We got
Danny at New Orleans. Danny and who?
So go ahead, Danny and Matt. Go to Danny first. Why it's halftime?
All right, man. Like I said, we got Tampa Bay at New Orleans. I already said I'm taking Tampa Bay. Danny.
Yeah, I'll go New Orleans.
You said Matt.
Give me Tampa by 21.
Oh my God. I love Matt and his predictions. Patrick.
Give me Drew Brees.
Okay. Listen, if it is Drew Brees versus A-Rod, it'd be really cool. Well, it would be really cool for somebody.
We were discussing earlier. I think it's tough to beat a division opponent 3 times in a year. So wouldn't surprise me if Tampa Bay pulls it out because TB12 is going to be ready. But give me the Saints. I think the Saints have a way better defense than Tampa Bay, and I think that might be the difference.
So I think either way, because I've already disclosed who I think is winning the other NFC game. I think either way, next round I'm going to get to see a very good quarterback matchup head to head. And I'm going to stay in the NFC here, and I'm going to go the Rams at Green Bay. As I've already stated with my Super Bowl prediction, I'm taking Green Bay to win that game. Danny.
Give me the Rams.
Yeah.
I don't like Green Bay.
If he loses his first playoff game, I'll cry. Patrick.
I want to take the Rams because of that defense, but I don't know how healthy they're going to be. And I think AR-12's on a mission. Give me the Pack.
Matt.
Green Bay by 10.
See, that's more realistic, Matt. I like that one. See, because you was way more realistic than 21. All right, let's go over now to the AFC. And we're going to assume that Pittsburgh is losing this game because Cleveland's up by 25. So Cleveland is going to play Kansas City at Kansas City. Matt.
Give me the Chiefs by 7.
Danny.
Yeah, I mean, me. I want to go Homer all the way, but I think the Browns are going to be riding the high too much, and it's going to bite them in the butt next week. I think the Kansas City Chiefs will win.
Yeah, my sentiments exactly with Danny. I'll take the Chiefs.
You know what? I'm taking the Browns. My Baker hater hat is coming off for the week. Oh God. Listen, I don't dislike the Browns. It's just some weird thing that everybody else has started. All right. Moving on to the last game. It is, why am I blanking? The Ravens at Buffalo. Everybody, again, I've disclosed my Super Bowl pick already. I'm taking Buffalo. And let's go to Matt.
Give me Baltimore because I think Lamar Jackson's going to run all over them Bills defense.
Bills defense is good, buddy. Danny.
I got Buffalo in this one.
Patrick, I know where your heart lies, but where does that head lie?
Same with the heart. They're aligned. Give me the Ravens.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Ah, damn. all right. So that means you got okay. Well, hey, guys, that's this week in the picks, and next week we'll get those actual Super Bowl predictions. So that'd be
nice.
I've just closed mine already. So
one more thing before we wrap up, man. So tomorrow night's the college football championship. Danny, who you got?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Give me Bama.
Give you Bama. Matt, who you got?
I got Bama by 28.
Man lives in Columbus, Ohio, and he's taking Bama by 28. Crazy. Give me Bama. Sean, who you got?
So here's my question: is it that other wide receiver? I can't remember his name. Taggart, I think his name is. Is that it? Taggart, the other wide receiver that's been hurt all year.
I think he is playing. Yes.
Waddle.
Yeah, Waddle.
Waddle, that's it. Yeah. Say Bama by 60.
60. And if he's not playing,
Bama by 55.
Bama by 55. All right, guys, we got to get out of here for tonight. So I appreciate you gentlemen hanging in there with us and calling in. Appreciate it. Enjoy the second half. Hodge Podge Sports Show, sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website, arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience. Favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app. Pre-order, express pick, delivery. How do you place your order? Hodge Podge Sports Show is temporarily moving to Sunday nights. Same time, same phone number. We're just going to be on Sunday nights from 9 to 10. We'll see y'all next Sunday. Peace.